Okay, so this is the piano solo for Don't Ask Me Why by Billy Joel, transcribed for acoustic guitar without a cutaway with a capo. You don't have to use the capo, but I did it with the capo in case you're that guy that goes. So if you're doing that, you have a capo on your guitar already, this makes sense. So now, if you don't have a capo, that's fine too. If maybe you're not playing that part, you're playing with some folks, just know that anything that's number 3 is the capo. So with the capo, when you see 3 and 3 on the transcription, that's just your open strings. So the way I did it, I did the frets as they are on the guitar, not how they relate to the capo. So just know that, but I'm sure you'll figure that out. Anyway, so it's there's a lot of thirds in it, double stops. So I think it's important to pay attention to what's going on, like what's going on with what chord. There's a lot of takeaways from this. I always say that. Any solo, there's a lot of takeaways when you do your own thing. All right, so it starts off with that line right there. So, as I said, pay attention to what's going on. You know, it's an F chord, and then with these, it starts out with this D and this B flat, going down to the F and C here, which in those two notes are out of the F chord. Then half steps down, back to those same two notes, so it sort of resolves itself. So I also notice that my first finger is always on the top string, my second finger is on the second string, and that's when I do the minor third. And then I'm always traveling with my first finger, and then I just change whether I use my second finger or my third finger, whether it's like a minor third or the major third. So again, it's right, hits that, back up to those two notes that are in the F chord, and then it does, which is just a diatonic scalar type thing, harmonized. And now it changes to E flat, and now the same deal, it goes, right? Like diatonically, it goes to those two notes, and the E flat chord steps out for a little tension, back to it. And then while we're on the E flat chord, it does this little harmonized arpeggio. And when you land there at this 11th and 12th fret, so you want your second finger to be on the second string, your third finger to be there, because then you can just keep your second finger there and drop this finger here. Otherwise it can be a little clumsy, maybe, if you don't finger it right. So, and then just how we started. That same deal, where it goes to the F, the two notes out of the F chord, and resolves back. And now, a little different. And now, the next two thirds are on the second and third string. Notice now I'm just barring across the 8th fret, second and third string. That makes my major third, different shape on these two strings. And then first and second finger on the 6th and 7th fret there. And now it entered the B chord, B flat chord world. And it resolves like that. And now it goes to a G chord, which looks like an E here. And now it does this cool G dominant 9 arpeggio thing. And then when it hits that G there, that 8th fret, that's where it goes to a C chord. And then back to G. Again, another arpeggio type thing. on that C note, or it changes to the C chord. Chord changes to F, and it's going to go back to B flat, which is the original key, where the verse starts again. Now it does this again. Another takeaway: this chromatic run. You could, you know. So from going to like a 5 to a 1 chord, good riff to know. Now you're back into the verse. All right, so that's it pretty much. So you notice I've used a flat pick while I was showing you this stuff, but when I played it before I used a thumb pick, I'm just a little more comfortable with a thumb pick. So really can use it with a flat pick. You can use like a hybrid picking. You can use cross picking for the stuff. You can just use your fingers, thumb pick. It really doesn't matter, wherever you're comfortable. Now the other thing is this other part without the capo, where you get down to the 3rd fret here, it would be, that's over that G chord. Again, so it's where it goes from G to C, and then it goes, sorry. Yeah, that's it. Again, it's right of this, that little G shape, that little, you know, what you know is your F chord down there by the nut, right? Again, I'll say just a good riff to learn anyway, all that stuff. Anyway, so now I'll say that's it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope you can use this, or at least have some fun with it. And that's it. All right. Thank you very much. Till next time. Okay.